Missed out on yesterday's NBA action? Well, I got you guys. Welcome to TV's Daily NBA Recap, where I get to recap yesterday's NBA action in a short amount of time. Let's go. The first game on the dock is we have the Eastern Conference Semifinals Game 6 between the Toronto Raptors and the Boston Celtics. And the Raptors pull out what could possibly be described as a game of the year. 125-122 in double overtime. On the Raptors side of things, Kyle Lowry with another masterpiece performance in an elimination game. 33 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Fred VanVleet had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Multiple guys for the Raptors played over 50 minutes in this game, along with the Celtics. And Norman Powell, 23 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist as well off the bench. On the Celtics side of things, Jaylen Brown had 31 points and 16 rebounds. Jason Tatum had a near triple-double with 29 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. And Marcus Smart, great triple-double performance, 23, 11, and 10. Oh, where do I start with this game? It was a very, very stressful game as a Raptor fan, but it was a lot of kind of back and forth, especially within that fourth quarter. The first half or so, the Raptors seemed like to be down and out. I mean, they couldn't get anything done offensively, and people were just not hitting shots. And the Celtics actually got up to a 13-point lead or something during that time, if I'm not mistaken, a 12-point lead actually. And it really did feel like that the Raptors were in one of those shooting slumps once again. But near the end of the second quarter, Fred VanVleet hit a couple shots to get the Raptors within 4 points going into halftime. Third quarter comes around, the Raptors finally find their stroke from long range. Marc Gasol hit 2 threes in that quarter. Fred hit, I believe, 3 or 4. I even forgot to mention Serge hitting 3 in the second quarter to keep us in striking distance. And they were just able to find their range, especially in that third quarter, which was very, very huge for the Raptors in trying to win this game. Fourth quarter comes around, the Raptors looked very stagnant on offense, but the good thing is their defense kind of held the Boston to the same amount of production, and it had to go into overtime, really. A lot of the Raptors' misfortune came through Pascal Siakam again, who in 54 minutes played 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 for 19 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3. It was horrendous. He still was giving the effort on the defensive end, but still very, very ugly on the offensive end. And this kind of carried him over into overtime. The Raptors really did try and get Siakam in the spot, but he just doesn't have confidence whatsoever right now in this series. And it was very hard to watch him, honestly, just try to attack the rim, kind of dribble too much. It was very hard to watch. Now on the Celtics side of things, I mean, they kind of had an equally bad performance from Kemba Walker, who only scored 5 points in this game, who had 7 assists, so he made some key assists. But he has just not been very productive. It was just not productive at all in this game. Very much struggled. And in the overtime, it was just a lot of that type of struggle again. 8 points in the first overtime, in which, lots of back and forth. And it really did come down to a final basket where Norman Powell tried hitting a step-back 3, and it didn't get to go. We go into second overtime, and more just craziness happens. There's a lot of focus on the refs because of the bad decisions they made. I mean, just really think about it. I'm just going to go through just a few of the bad calls that they made. Going into regulation, maybe you can consider Kemba Walker's thing a foul. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. The OG one, I mean, we all know it was intended. It was going for the lob. I don't know how that wasn't a shooting foul, especially because in double overtime, they gave that same call to Brown. So, I mean, sure, he had kind of had the ball, but the intent was still there. And there's just so many bad ones, and the one that everyone's talking about is Nick Nurse standing on almost on the base, basically on the baseline, and he, Jason Tatum kind of saw a body there, thought it was a Celtics player, and threw it to Nick Nurse. And a lot of people saying, should he get suspended? Should he get fined? I mean, it's very I think he's gonna get fined. I think that would be very reasonable, but it's just one of those on the edge type moments where you're is this should they really consider suspending him, especially being in Game 7? I don't know, but it was a tough scenario there. But this game, with that second overtime was just super duper entertaining. In the beginning, it really did feel like the Celtics were going to win this one, But then late into the overtime, freaking Norman Powell, as Fred VanVleet said after the game, absolutely saved their season, hitting a key three late, getting getting a key three late and getting that N1 to basically put the game out of reach for the Celtics. And there's just so many guys hitting key shots. OG Anunoby hit a key three. VanVleet was hitting shots when he needed to. And Kyle Lowry, oh my gosh, this man he's my point guard. This guy is my point guard. Give me a chance and give me a choice of one of the leaders in the league. There's going to be very few people that you would put ahead of Kyle Lowry. This guy is just so good at just keeping his composure, getting his team in check, and able to just lead them to victory. And being able to hit that final shot over Kemba Walker was just masterpiece. And that was just the type of game for the Raptors. I mean, sure, there were kind of calls that kind of went both ways that were very, very questionable. But the Raptors earned this win. They absolutely did earn this win. They fought hard and all that. And that's all you can really ask for. And we're going into a freaking Game 7. There's so many things I could talk about in this matchup. And I think I'll probably go more into depth about it in tomorrow's podcast. But good win for Toronto. Going to Game 7, it can really go either way. The Celtics stars have kind of been inconsistent from time to time. Let's see if they can be able to step up, and hopefully this is just as entertaining as the rest of this series. So, good one for Toronto. Game 7 is going to be highly, highly interesting, especially with the way these teams were kind of bark at each other at the end of the game. You know, that little scuffle. It's going to be a classic. We're going to go on to a more, not as much memorable game. We're going to go to Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinal between the Denver Nuggets and the LA Clippers. And the Clippers took this game 96-85. Kawhi Leonard back to doing his thing, owned near triple-double with 30 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. And the second leading scorer was Montrezl Harrell off the bench with 15 points. The Denver Nuggets, on the other hand, had a good performance from Nikola Jokic, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Jamal Murray struggled, 6 for 15 shooting, 18 points, and 7 assists. This game was, it was interesting in the sense where the Nuggets had some sort of fight in them, but really the whole narrative around this game is that the Nuggets just looked tired, especially in that second half. They just didn't look like they had the energy to kind of compete with the LA Clippers, and there were times where they just couldn't hit shots, and the Clippers just went on these runs to kind of put it out of reach in the second half. And we're not even talking about the first quarter, in which they scored 12 points on 29% shooting. They literally pulled the Raptors out there from Game 5. So that was highly disappointing. They started to come back in the second quarter. Michael Porter Jr. had 13 points in that quarter, and he didn't see the ball after that. The Nuggets just, like I said, looked tired, and the Clippers just showed why they're one of the best teams in this league, taking away Jamal Murray for most of the game, and just being able to get bucket after bucket with Kawhi Leonard, who was just an absolute monster like he usually is. Like I said, he can have a couple of duds in the playoffs, but he's going to just consistently give you effort on the defensive end and just be one of the best offensive players on the court, if not the best offensive player on the court, like he was yesterday. You're gonna take some of the bad ones with the good ones with Kawhi Leonard, because he is one of the best players in the league. And there's honestly no denying that. This guy was absolutely phenomenal in this game. And it was just a good performance from the Clippers. And it looked like they had full control of the series. Denver, you could tell that the fatigue was there going through a 7-game series against the Jazz last round. And now it just feels like the Clippers are in the driver's seat, ready to go to the Western Conference Finals. So, yeah, it was a tough game for the Nuggets to watch, but good performance from the Clippers, so good win for them. And this is the end of today's NBA recap. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, if you're on YouTube, to like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you're on IGTV, remember to drop a follow, leave a like. That'd be very much appreciated. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day to watch this. And I'll be back tomorrow with another recap and another podcast, so look out for that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.